But I have a question.
Come on, sit down.
I have a question.
Now, we went outside and we saw something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And was it something that you expected to see that? Were you guys expect to see the sun? What did you expect to see?
I expect to see like the burning.
You expect to see the burning. Now, we had to use a special equipment to look at the burning. What's that called? Tell us. Not a cell phone. You guys learn these things because we like people that enjoy science. That's why the solar project that we have here is to help not only you guys, but other kids. Nosotros vamos a ayudar a todos los niños de Panamá para que aprendan astronomía solar. He venido solo esta vez, pero por lo general somos tres. Como saben, you know Sophie, and she talks a lot, but that's because I talk a lot about science. And what happens is that it rubs on you, right? You like it, ¿verdad? ¿Le gustó ver los equipos? ¿Sí? ¿Le gustó ver lo que hacemos? Entonces, de esa manera, ustedes les empieza a gustar la ciencia. No solamente astronomía, not only astronomy, but other sciences, doctors, engineers, solar astronomers, geologists, robotics. ¿Quién de ustedes le gusta robótica?
I like geology.
Geology is really good. It's about, the rocks of the earth. And biology, animals, all those things are sciences. And we need to make sure that future people enjoy science. Science is not hard. Who said science is hard?
Nobody?
Oh, I see somebody pointing at you. No?
I didn't say it.
Okay. Right. Science is not hard. Science, you need to enjoy it because once you enjoy it, it becomes actually really easy. I had a hard time at first because I didn't like certain things. But then when I realized that I was good with numbers, I'm like, you know what? Why does this happen? Why does that happen? And that's when I started looking and looking and looking. Next thing I know, I bought a telescope. And that telescope's still in my house. And it's somebody's telescope now, right? That's Sophie's telescope. So, the thing that I want you guys to understand is not that I want you guys to love astronomy the way Sophie does. I want you guys to enjoy science. Don't be afraid of science, okay? Cool?
Any questions?
Question. Okay, I know that there's probably a billion questions. Yes. Wait.
Jackie, we'll come back to you. Somebody who has a question ready for this guy.
Is Jupiter bigger than the sun?
No, Jupiter is not bigger than the sun. It's actually the biggest planet, but you can fill a couple of hundreds of, I think it's up to 1,000 Jupiters. I'm not quite sure about that number, but the sun makes Jupiter look small. And Jupiter is huge. Yes.
Why Pluto is gone?
Pluto's not gone. Pluto's there. I see him right there. And we sent a probe over there called New Horizons. And he had a heart.
There's a rock now.
It's a dwarf planet. We cataloged it differently because it's a smaller planet. It's tiny. A planet has to have more mass, right? And on top of that, Pluto is in a weird angle sometimes. And it's just, I'm sorry to say that Pluto's demoted, but he's not, that he's gone. Pluto's going to be there forever. Or not forever, for 4.5 billion years at least. But Pluto is what is cataloged now as a dwarf planet. Yes.
And the sun is a planet.
No, the sun is gas. I told you, really, really hot gas, right? And then in the core, in the middle, it starts colliding. The gas collides with each other, and then it creates another gas, and it gets heavier and heavier. And yeah, no, it's not a planet. You can't walk on the surface because it's not only so hot, but it's not water. It's not liquid. It's not gas. It's something else. It's called plasma. Yes. Why you keep asking? You always ask some questions. Come on, quickly.
Is there a new planet?
There's always new planets, Sophie. You know that, right? There's actually, yes, a ninth planet that probably is around the sun. We haven't found it yet because the space is so big that, believe me, it's difficult to find planets. It's not easy. You haven't heard you talk.
How do they make the planets? How is there so many?
Oof. This, I'm going to keep talking for a long time. Planets happened to be created when the sun was created. And the material that was left around, imagine that you eat a pizza, right? And then you eat all the pizza, and then it's left a whole bunch of crumble in the box, right? That's us. That's the planets. It's the little dusty around the pizza that is left off after you eat it. It's the crumbs. Yeah, we're the crumbs of the creation of the sun. Yes.
Is Pluto smaller than the sun?
Pluto's way smaller than the sun. Pluto's way smaller than Earth. Way smaller than the moon. But it's big. But not as big as the rest. I haven't heard you talk.
Pluto's smaller than Mercury.
Good question. You earned a card. That was actually a very thoughtful question.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, right. No. Pluto is not smaller than Mercury, but Mercury is really tiny too. Now, the reason why Mercury is small is because it's so close to the sun that it lost a lot of material, and apparently when the solar system was created, it got hit by something and it lost most of the material, and we see it's like the inner part of the planet, and that's why it's small, but it's not as small as Pluto. There's a moon in Saturn, in Jupiter, that is bigger than Mercury, I'm sorry. But, so that was a really good question because, yes, Mercury is tiny. Not as tiny as Pluto. 3 more questions. 3 more. I can stay here forever. And that happens, believe it or not, with adults, it happens more than with kids.
3 more, then we're going to get cleaned up.
What? I want to say something. You were on like the bottom of the earth, and it wouldn't be falling down, but it just feels so weird. It's like we're on the bottom, but we're not falling.
I think I understand what you're saying.
So you're picturing the Earth, like she's picturing it like standing on the top or being on the bottom. But what's really happening?
It's that our point of view in the curvature of the Earth, we're so small, we're so tiny, that we can't see the curvature of the Earth. We don't feel it, right? But if you were, let's say, in an asteroid that was the size of this classroom, yes, you would see the difference. You move, and the only reason why we're standing in here, and if I go like this, I'll fall down, is something called gravity. And that's the force that keeps our feet on the ground. Everything with mass has gravity. Oh my God, you're going to have a heart attack. Yes.
Why is the Earth a circle but shaped like a square?
Sphere.
None of the planets are circles completely. They look like circles in a telescope, but they internally have different things. But it's the gravity makes it uniform. Okay, that's what it looks. That's why they all kind of have that spherical form. I said 3, and this is 4, right?
Okay.
Last one over here. Let me.
Which is the biggest planet besides Jupiter?
Oh my goodness, I can't answer that question. That's a question you should ask a telescope, and it's called Kepler. The Kepler mission looks at stars, 100,000 stars, a little square, and it keeps it looking all the time. It's been looking at it for years, and it looks at the dimming of the star. When the light goes down, that's something passed in front of it, and that's the biggest ones. It's huge. They're animals. That's that's a good question, I guess. So here.
Yeah, and how about if you have another question, you can write it down and we'll send it home in Sophie's folder for Mr. Ayala, okay?
And I'll make sure that Miss Emmy can send you your parents the link of solarastronomy.org.
Definitely.
So you guys can actually keep track of the information that we have. And when we do solar observations that are available for the public.
Nice. What do you guys say? We need a big,
Can I have a
huge
card?
what? Thank you,